Hello class, today I'm going to be doing this video on fundamentalism and focusing on the fundamentalist leader Bob Jones, and I use sources from Chronicling America and the ProQuest database of historical newspapers. Just to give you a little bit of background information if you're not aware, this name's come up a few times in a few places in our readings, but Bob Jones was a fundamentalist leader and an evangelist and a premier Southern evangelist, probably the premier Southern evangelist in the early 20th century, and nationally was only second to Billy Sunday. One way he's known in Christian circles now is as the president and founding president of Bob Jones University in 1927, and which is known now as Bob Jones, well, originally as Bob Jones College, and now is Bob Jones University in Greenville, South Carolina. I found a column by Mr. Jones, Dr. Jones, in the Lexington Advertiser called Comments on the Here and Hereafter. So this was one part of my research that I found. This newspaper was a weekly newspaper. It's out of print now. And his column goes from the encouraging to the warning, really. And I just wanted to pull out a few of these comments and just kind of get a picture of this man. In one, he's encouraging people, young people especially, to follow God's will and not give up. He says many people think they're called to a certain thing, and when it gets difficult, they give up on it. And he just encourages to keeping on in that. He talks about if anyone has been blessed, if a person has been blessed in any way, this blessing needs to be shared with others. This can affect community and grow communities and can affect even whole towns. Kind of on the more warning side of things, he talks about to be careful about drinking. He talks about the effects of drinking. He gives a story of someone named S.S. Prentice, who was a great man in his community and went to a party and had a drink and fell into a habit of drinking, and it eventually led to his death. So that would be one on the warning side from this column. But overall, it is very encouraging. He talks about God having a plan for the lives of young people, and he was very interested in young people. But in the same breath can talk about, as a fundamentalist, to warn against giving money or to entertaining modernists or liberals, and this as something that you don't want to do. I also looked in the historical newspapers at his obituary. So this was from the New York Times from 1968. So, and this one's overall negative, I would say. The tagline talks about his being against Catholics in the 1928 presidential campaign, attacking Catholics, it actually says. And this wasn't totally the case. I think in the time era that no one wanted a Catholic to be president. Looking back on it from the late 60s, give them a perspective on this that would not be the same as the 20s. In that election was Herbert Humphrey, or Herbert Hoover rather, and Al Smith as the Democrat, and he fought to have Hoover on the top of that ticket. The other negative aspect that they mention here is segregation, and I'll have to say this has been a problem here through just several years ago. 2000, Bob Jones University dropped their interracial dating ban. 2008, they apologized for past racial policies, and this is a point the paper makes that is important to make. And the article also shows how he is a fundamentalist, not only fighting against modernism, but social ills. Thank you for listening.